Sfakia is a mountainous area in the southwestern part of the island of Crete, in the Chania regional unit. It is considered to be one of the few places in Greece that have never been fully occupied by foreign powers, with a 2011 census population of 1,889 inhabitants living on a land area of 467.58 square kilometers. Sfakia is one of the largest and least densely populated municipalities on the island of Crete. The etymology of its name is disputed. According to the prevailing theory, it relates to its rugged terrain, deriving from the ancient Greek word sigma phi alpha chi, meaning land chasm or gorge. Description: the road from Chania to Sfakia crosses the island from north to south, through the village of Vryses. For this village the route crosses the White Mountains to Sfakian by the Libyan Sea. Halfway from Vryses to Sfakian is the fertile plateau of Sfakiá, surrounded by high mountain peaks. From here to Sfakian the road is particularly spectacular. The road hugs the western slope of the Imbros Gorge, offering scenic views. Another scenic route is that leading from Kapsadeisos to the plateau of Kallikratis, northeast of Sfakian. There are many beaches in Sfakia which do not see the numbers of tourists of the northern coast. More adventurous visitors can follow the European hiking footpath E4, which crosses Crete through Sfakia's mountains. The coastal villages are not connected by coastal road, but can be reached by ferry boats. Not far east from Sfakian is Frango Castello, literally, Frankish castle. The Venetian fortress here was built in 1371 to deter pirates and unsuccessfully to control Sfakia. It is largely ruined but is picturesquely set on a wide sandy beach with the towering White Mountains behind. Daskaloggianus was captured here in 1771. Accessible only by boat from Sfakia is Lutro, a small seaside village with some archaeological ruins, a few houses, small hotels and tavernas. Lutro is car-free. Cars must be parked in Sfakia or Palihora. In the north of Sfakia is the fertile plain of Skifu. The Sfakia region is crossed by many gorges, among which is the famous Samaria Gorge. All these gorges run from north to south and all end in the sea. Many of them can be walked, several even by inexperienced walkers. The region is inhabited by rare animals, like vultures and eagles, and the Cree, the wild Cretan goat. The coast of Sfakia is on the Libyan Sea, which is inhabited by a diminishing fish population, but occasionally dolphins, and even whales may be seen. The local speciality, Sfakian pies, are thin pancakes filled with cream cheese and served drizzled with honey. Resistance. Sfakian is famous as one of the centers of the resistance against the occupying forces of both the Venetians and the Turks. The impenetrable White Mountains to the north combined with the rocky beaches on the south helped the locals fight off all invaders. Anopolis, a village near Sfakian, is the birthplace of one of the most celebrated Cretan revolutionaries, Daskaloggianus. A famous legend and unexplained phenomenon describes a procession of visions seen in the nearby village Frango Castello as troops that died in the War of Independence against the Turks. Patrick Fermor wrote about the tall, proud Sfakians and the resistance to occupation. Many tales of revolts and uprisings in Crete start in the mountains of western Crete, mountain guerrillas, Palikari fighters and rebel assemblies. After the Battle of Crete during World War II, the locals helped many New Zealand and Australian soldiers escape from here on the night of May 31, 1941, suffering great reprisals. King George II of Greece had already escaped this way when the Germans invaded. Near the village of Komitards is the church of Panagia Thamiani, where the revolution of 1821 began. At the village of Lutro is the ruined chancellery, where the first revolutionary government of 1821 met. Sfakia is notorious for the harshness of the environment and the warlike people. Sfakians themselves are still considered somewhat beyond the reach of the lawmakers and tax collectors of Athens, with vendettas over stolen sheep and women's honor still fought late into the 20th century, with the whole village abandoned. Stealing and banditry had been considered a way of life in the mountains, even appearing in a creation myth, which made God himself a Sfakiot, as recounted by Adam Hopkins. With an account of all the gifts God had given to other parts of Crete: olives to Ierapetra, Iaios, Vasilios and Salino, wine to Malevici and Kisamu, cherries to Mylopotamos and Amari. But when God got to Sfakia, only rocks were left, so the Sfakiots appeared before him armed to the teeth, and asked, "Lord, how are we going to live on these rocks?" And the Almighty, looking at them with sympathy, replied in their own dialect, "Haven't you got a scrap of brains in your head? Don't you see that the lowlanders are cultivating all these riches for you?" The Sfakians are also famous for their hospitality and generosity towards guests, resulting in a shift from traditional labor towards tourism, with now many families running their own small hotel or restaurant. History. The archaeology and history of Sfakia is the object of a field survey undertaken by the University of Oxford. Province. The province of Sfakia was one of the provinces of the Chania prefecture. It had the same territory as the present municipality. It was abolished in 2006.